Hey all, it is Mike. It is Saturday. That means it's time for the Saturday Slashback Challenge. This is a challenge given to us by Joe the Horror Man. Every week he gives us a new category, and we are to find a movie within that category and review. So the movie that I picked for this week's category, which was 1990s slashers, it took me a while. I have a lot of them. But one that I have never really watched too often is Dr. Giggles, starring Larry Drake as Dr. Giggles. Of course, that's not his real last name, but the name escapes me right now. But basically, this movie, which was released in 1992, did not do well. The critics hated it. And most of them, really bashed it and said it was silly and disorganized. But they did say that Larry Drake did a great job as Dr. Giggles. It also stars Holly Marie Combs, who was in the original Charmed, and she's done other things, of course. And then it stars the young man from the original Roseanne, which I never really watched. But he was one of the boyfriends of one of the daughters. His name is Glenn Quinn, and he died back sometime in 2010 or something like that from a heroin overdose. Kind of sad. But those are the three main characters. We also have two sheriffs in this movie that play a pretty big part, and then we have some side characters. We have Jennifer, Holly's character, her dad, and her dad's new love interest. And then we have a couple of her friends, and a couple of Max's friends in this, as well as her doctor, some neighbors, stuff like that. So, plot. Basically, Dr. Giggles was a little boy, and his mom died from heart problems. So Dr. Giggles' dad, who was the original doctor of the family, he and the son, who was just a little boy, were killing people and taking their hearts because they wanted to find a heart to bring their mom and wife back to life. People figured this out, and they ended up killing the dad, and the son just basically disappeared. They couldn't find him. Well, his dad had actually sewn him into his dead mother's body. So when the policemen were looking for this little dude, Evan is his first name, they couldn't find him. But the police chief, one of the guys who later on became the chief of police, found this guy cutting himself out of his mother's dead body. So that was a pretty gruesome scene. Interesting. Flash forward 35 years, Evan, Dr. Giggles, he gets that name because of the crazy laugh, escapes from the psychiatric ward that he's in by killing some of the staff there, and then goes back to his dad's old house and I guess he had his own doctor's office right there in his house, and starts taking revenge on the little town. He kills a neighbor she's having an asthma attack, and she tries to call 911, and all of a sudden there's Dr. Giggles, and he has to check out her nose, and that does not go well for her. Then we have a couple of the kids get killed. There's a teenage couple, friends of Jennifer and Max's, who are going to have a little hootie-too time. It doesn't happen. He gets his little winky cut off, and she ends up with a big old thermometer kind of jabbed through her throat. Then we have the cops. Her father gets attacked. The stepmother gets killed. Pretty gruesome. The cops come in and find the head cop, who was the one who saw Dr. Giggles coming out of his mom's dead body and has been living with this all this time. He actually finds Jennifer's father. He had been cut with something and was bleeding. And then Dr. Giggles comes up behind him and kills the sheriff, but the sheriff does get a shot in. Then we go fast forward to where Dr. Giggles is in an amusement park trying to find Jennifer, because while he's at the house he realizes that Jennifer has a heart problem because she had been wearing a heart monitor and she got so angry that she threw it into the fish tank. And he found it. So then he gets the idea that he has to help her. He has to find a heart for her. So he finds her at the amusement park. She ends up, getting kidnapped by him. Max and the other police officer are trying to rescue her out of her dad's house, or not out of his dad's house, the doctor's house, because he's ready. He's going to cut her up. And the sheriff stops him from doing that, brings her back to life because he had stopped her heart. Doctor had stopped her heart. And when they came in, all the dead people were in the waiting room. So everybody Dr. Giggles had killed in this movie was in the waiting room. And Dr. Giggles is going through this bucket of hearts to see which one's going to fit this girl. It's pretty funny. So yeah, then the house blows up. Bing, bang, boom. They're in a hospital. She's about ready to have her real surgery. Bing, bang, boom. Dr. Giggles his way in. Takes care of all the staff there at the hospital. She gets away. She runs. She hides. They have a confrontation. Doesn't turn out too well for him. So, Dr. Giggles, fun little, silly, goofy movie. I'd give it I enjoyed watching it. I understand that it's not like the best movie ever made, but then again, you want to know something? A lot of times those movies that are so awesome that all the critics love and everything, I have no use for. So I enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it a B. I enjoyed Larry Drake. I enjoyed all of the characters for the most part. The two main characters were fine. And the dad, I liked him. He's been in other things. You'll recognize him when you see him. I want to say it's Cliff DeYoung. Cliff something. But yeah, good movie. Fun movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it if you ever get a chance. Check it out. He's ornery and that giggle is too much. Alright guys, thanks. Bye.